Everyone, you're welcome. I'm excited to see you today, and I hope you're all doing good. Welcome to this week's show of Making a Difference with Sandra Ukoh. Every week, I have a phenomenal guest who is making a difference in their world. And today, we have one of our phenomenal guests with us. Do not go away. Sit back and enjoy today's show. You're welcome. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Great to connect with you tonight and this evening. I don't know where you're connecting from. Please let me know where you're connecting from. I'd like to have your name and where you're located. And thank you for joining this episode. I have a special guest with me, but before I bring her on board, I'd like to introduce myself and also introduce what the show is all about. I'm just going to play. My name is Sandra, and today's episode is we're going to be focusing on domestic violence. And beyond domestic violence, what has propelled our guest speaker to, going through that line and becoming a specialty in that line in order to, inform the world. Because a lot of times we notice we have symptoms, we know when something is wrong, but we still put our head and we just stick there. But today we want to know it. We want to be able to know when we see symptoms of such and how to avert it, how to go off it, and how to help people who are already in it to, how to help them solve the situation. If it's when a problem is known, it is 50% solved. But before bringing it on board, I'd like to introduce what the show is all about.
Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's the John Maxwell team. Our certified members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession.
Welcome to another episode of Making a Difference with Sandra Ukoh, a live show that brings people on the platform where we can glean from, where we alight and also celebrate and recognize leaders who dare to make a difference from all over the world for doing great things in their world. I believe there's a giant in you waiting to be discovered in a nest. You have within you right now all that you need to become that change agent and best version of you that God has made you to be. It is time to ignite you and discover your greater potential and to see the possibilities that exist within you to maximize your potential through this unique platform for mentoring and coaching, and how we can become better versions of ourselves after being through the stage of survival to success and to living a life of significance, where we can leverage the power of storytelling as a strong communication tool. So let's celebrate these leaders and join us on another incredible segment of Making a Difference live show with your host, Sandra Ukoh. You're welcome. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Just like my mentor, John Maxwell, just introduced me. I'm a John Maxwell speaker, certified coach, and trainer. And today we have a special guest, Dr. OLUBUSOLA. And before I bring her on board, I'd like to just read a resume. Dr. OLUBUSOLA OLUWAFERANMI, fondly called Dr. O, is a noted motivator and the founder and CEO of FEFIS, Holistic Wellness, with offices in the United States of America and Nigeria. She's a missionary originally from Nigeria and has traveled around the world, teaching and empowering women and youths. She started a journey as a certified pastoral counselor with a doctorate degree in theology and a major in Christian counseling in 2008. She is a certified life coach who has done extensive work in marriage, relationship counseling, sex therapy, juvenile delinquency, spiritual and internal healing. Dr. OLUBUSOLA is a certified health and wellness coach, a licensed and alternative medicine practitioner, and neuromuscular therapist. She is an author of many books, many articles, and 3 books on women leadership, relationship, and domestic violence. She is an ordained reverend and prophetess, a certified marriage counselor, and Simbi's facilitator, Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts. Also a member of the American Association of Christian Counselors. As an advocate for domestic violence and childhood molestation, she is the founder of Audacious Women of Purpose and Intimate Issues with Dr. OLUBUSOLA, which started in 2011 from our struggles, personal pain, experience, and the freedom of living an abusive marriage. Dr. OLUBUSOLA is an ambassador and international representative for OGO, or Yoruba Awards, and the School of Yoruba Language in Lagos, Nigeria. IIWDO is a registered 501c charity organization in the United States of America. She's registered as Dr. OLUBUSOLA Foundation NGO in Nigeria, with group members all around the globe, ministering mostly to victims in Africa and Africans in diaspora. Our ultimate goal is to build a strong sense of community, starting from the grassroots, to reconcile and build and impact both adults and youth to have a healthy life and live a fulfilled purpose. That's awesome. Great to have you. I'd like to go back again to emphasize the name of our foundation. She is the founder of Audacious Women of Purpose and Intimate Issues with Dr. OLUBUSOLA, which I recently said IIWDO. That's Intimate Issues with Dr. OLUBUSOLA. So it's so great to have you, Ma. You're doing a great work there. And the next person you see on board this evening is Dr. OLUBUSOLA herself. Great to have you, ma'am.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. Great to have you because I know I think
I know you've been chasing me. I'm so sorry.
I know, I understand. Your schedule is really tight.
It
Really
is.
tight.
The Lord is my strength right now at this time. I'm just into a lot of things at the same time. So I'm trying to get myself out of the valley, climbing
You
the
are coming out
mountaintop.
stronger.
Yes.
You're coming out stronger. Is your strength. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation. And one of the reasons I actually said I was going to bring you on this stage, when I see what people suffer out there. But before I go into the discussion, I want to explain what was the driving force for you to pursue the passion in this area of domestic violence, trying to help women. There must be something that have driven you, because we know that passion goes with success. If you're passionate about something, you give all your energy, all the strength in you. So what informed that, ma'am?
Yeah, I think it was in 2011. There was an incident that happened in Nigeria, and it was all over the social media. I can never forget the name of the lady. Titi Arowolo is the name of that lady. She was chopped off by her husband.
Wow.
The husband is or was a pastor. She died. And I think that was a shock wave for a lot of people. Facebook was just, it didn't just start, but I think a lot of people are just joining Facebook, especially from where I come from, Nigeria. And it was a shock. And I didn't walked away from I'll call it an abusive marriage, because that was not really what God intended to be as a marriage. I walked out, and it was a struggle. It was a lot of backlashes. I'm an ordained reverend, a counselor to many people. It's like, why would she leave her husband? But it was a struggle. I prayed. It was just between God and myself, and I thought the only way for me to live my purpose was to leave that marriage. So I was still in that struggle of trying to find myself, trying to explain to people that abuse in relationship and marriage is not about somebody beating you all the time. Did he ever beat me? Yeah, one time. I'm a very stubborn person myself, so you can only get that one slap. It will not happen again. But it was more than somebody slapping you. It's about emotional, mental, and everything, psychological and spiritually. You call yourself a Christian. I tell people all the time, because I've been through it, so I know. You cannot tell me you're going through domestic violence and you're really, really like this with God. It's a struggle. You can't even pray. It's a struggle. There's something standing between you and God. So when that incident happened 2011 with Titi Arowolo, and I just was reading a lot of comment, ignorance. You know, people are so ignorant about this thing. So I went into like, okay, I'm gonna just do something more than making noise on Facebook or writing on Facebook. I've been writing about relationship on Facebook since 2009. So I said I need to step up. I already started my group in June of 2011 on Facebook. There were not many groups at that time. I think probably I was one of the few people that started groups. So I already started that one in June of 2011. So when that incident happened, I can't even remember precisely when, but I know it was 2011. So I just started talking about domestic violence. It became a passion. I started studying about it. I'll go for conferences. I started taking CE classes just to know more. I started doing my own research. So every time I post something about domestic violence on Facebook, oh my goodness, my inbox is full, my email is full, my messages is full. I mean, I'm seeing 1,000 messages, like what is really going on? So I knew that was not just something happening and everybody's just being aware. It's an epidemic that we're covering, especially in the Christendom. I'm a Christian. And it's like nobody wants to talk about it. So I started digging deep. I started researching. And then it became a life. It became a passion. It became, I mean,
Awesome.
I just threw myself into that. And it was appalling. I was shocked. I won't say surprised. It was a shock with the enormous calls and messages and people sharing. And now the more I talked about it, people started talking about it too. So I think it helped a lot of people to come out of their shells. Like, okay, you can, I mean, I'll send anonymous messages online and people started coming out like, okay, that looks like my story. People will call me, Dr. Oh, did somebody tell you about my story? You know, so people were seeing themselves in other people and they were opening up, talking about it. You know, that's just how it started and it's never stopped.
Awesome. That became a very strong passion.
It
You are
is.
like your mouthpiece for everyone who is going through domestic violence. Thank you for even lending yourself to that mission. A lot of people
Mm.
wouldn't want to do that. They want to just mind their business. Well, thank you for being
It's
a
a
voice.
sensitive thing to jump into. And I tell people all the time, I was telling a friend, oh, doctor, I said, let me tell you, if you have never been in that situation, if you have never walked in that shoe, you cannot really, I mean, you may be passionate about it because people are calling you, you're a pastor, you're a coach. But if you've not been through domestic violence, or if you have not gone through some kind of training, don't just say you want to be an advocate for domestic violence. Sensitive, because it's just more than people talking about it. That's
Yes, it's
what I
just
would
more
say.
than book knowledge.
It is more than
It's a,
book knowledge. It
yes,
is
because
more
some
than
people
book
would
knowledge.
read and go to school to study
No,
domestic
it's
violence.
more than
You
that.
can be a
You
life
can help
coach.
people as a counselor, but if you're going to be an advocate for domestic violence, don't do it until you go through some personal training or go through some training that says domestic violence training.
Yeah. And also for someone who has who has worn the shoes of a domestic violence person, you'll be a mouthpiece because you've experienced it. You know what
Mm.
it feels. So you'll be able to speak for others. I want to thank you so much for giving yourself to it. Not everyone will do what you're doing
No,
as a
it's not
tall
an easy
order,
job.
and you must also have a calling in that area.
It
For
is
you
a
to be able
call.
to stand, yeah, for you to be
It
able to
is.
stand, there's so much calls, there's so much crying, and people confiding in
It,
you.
it, it can break you as a person. It can break you because when people call, somebody called me on Saturday. She's my goddaughter. I was actually at work. So I was working, I was attending to her, you know, called the police, and I was on the phone with the police and we were talking. And I mean, it's heartbreaking. Oh my goodness. It's just not something you just feel like, okay, I want to do this. No, it's a passion, it's a call, and it's a 24 hours non-stop calls and messaging and talking to people. It can break you mentally, emotionally, psychologically when you listen to what people are going through. You cry with people, you leave everything you're doing. If it's somewhere you can drive to, you dash. I mean, I've drove 2 hours to go rescue mother and daughters. It's just a lot of things to do. I've used my money several times, my mortgage, to get somebody relocated. It's just a lot of things involved.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah,
And what, thank you so much for that. And it's only posterity that will pay you. It's only God that
I
will pay
know.
you for all you're
It's
doing.
only God.
Because
It
that's
is.
why I tell people, I say, you don't jump into things because you see your friends doing domestic violence.
No.
You must have a passion and you must have a calling.
Yes.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it is said that you are made for your calling. Because you
Yes.
will wear the shoe well and you'll be able to address and help people. But
Mm-hmm.
the other side of it says you are paid for your career. So
Mm-hmm.
beyond career, this is a calling for you to be
Yes.
able to use your hard earned sweat, your
It's
mortgage to take care of
it's
other people.
beyond
It
career.
is
It's
just
beyond
beyond
career.
career. It is. It is. Then I thank you so much. How do one start to notice this? Because I believe domestic violence doesn't just start when they're married.
No, it doesn't. Mostly, it doesn't just start from when you begin to know, okay, something is wrong with me. Mostly, it starts from when you're dating. And I mean, I'm busy right now, in school. So a lot of things that I used to do to help people, I can't do it actually since the last 2 years. So I'm hoping I'll be able to go back to it, because a lot of people have been calling, why did you stop your singles class? Singles class is, I, I got the passion for that too, because I thought, well, a lot of things that are happening, maybe if I try to take my time to teach people before they get into that marriage, is probably going to be better. And seriously, it has helped a lot of people. I did that for 2 years straight, and then I stopped, and then people are calling now like, oh, you helped me, you need to help my friend, kind of a thing. A lot of these start from when you're dating, and I call it red flags. People don't pay attention. Now, with what I've been through in my life, I
But I
pay
want to ask a question
attention.
before you go further.
Yeah.
Is what would you say dating and courtship? Do they have any similarity? Because I get to hear that dating is for of the word. As Christians, we don't date. That
You
dating
know
is like
what?
you're testing. But I want to know the difference because
Christians, we
there are people
just
listening.
Christians were full of BS. Let me call it BS. You know, we're full of BS. We kind of make things so boring. Well, I can say there's a difference, and I don't even want to use the difference in the English language. I'll use the difference because I use the difference as me. Dating, yes, I can date. I'm a single adult now. I can date, but that doesn't mean I'm in a courtship. You get my point? I was telling somebody, a guy asked me out, you know, and I said, okay, fine. I mean, I work so hard, I can go out with a friend. And then in his head, this is personal thing I'm telling you now. In his head, we're cutting, dating for him is cutting. So he assessed something, and I said, don't get it twisted. We went out 2 times. You want me to come out? I mean, go out the third time. And I said, I'm busy. So he now says something like, oh, now you're too busy for me. And then he went and went and went. I allowed him to talk, and I said, you're a friend. And I went out with you, like I would go out with another friend. And he said, like, oh, but you said you don't double date. I said, I don't double cut. So let me just explain that to you now. No, I'm with a man at a time. I'm not gonna be with Kunle and then be with Steven at the same time. No, I don't do that. I don't ever do that. Even when I was younger. I'm a one woman, one man kind of a person. You understand? But you are a friend. I went out with you. We went out to dinner a couple of times. There was nothing sexual about it. There was nothing. I mean, I want to enjoy going out. So, as a single person, I tell people, enjoy dating. Go out and date.
Yeah, with
Go out with
friends.
friends.
Yeah.
It may be a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend here. Biodu, let's go out. We go out. We go have dinner. I take myself out on a date. I'll just dress up, go to a nice restaurant that I'm craving, and sit down majestically and eat. couple of times guys will come, like that was the time that I went, there was no space seat, and they asked if I wanted to sit at the bar, and I said yes, I will sit at the bar. Ordered my food, I was sitting down just sipping on my drink, and somebody said, can I sit down? I said yes. Then he started talking, and like, okay, I'm here politely, I'm here to enjoy myself. It's like, are you here on a date? I said yes. With who? With me. And it was like, really? I said, yes. So if you don't mind, please, I just have some things in my head that I need to digest and think about. It's been 5 minutes of nice communication, but right now I'm trying to process something in my head. That's why I brought out myself out of the house, out of job, to come sit down and have a nice time. So I'm dating myself, I date friends. But if I'm going to be in a courtship, that's a relationship. That's taking it further. So yes, that's taking it further. So enjoy going out on dates. So it's not like Kule invites you for dinner, you go to dinner a couple of times, even though you really don't like him, or you're thinking in your head, I don't want to be with this guy. That's an opportunity for you to say, you know what, if he's asking you further about a relationship, that's the good time to say,
to define your relationship.
Find the relationship for him. So go out with somebody else and go eat. You may even ask a friend out. You're a woman, fine. Ask somebody out and paid for the dinner. You get my point? Because the moment you start that courtship, you're in a relationship, it's another step further. Then you're thinking about breaking up with this guy because you don't think you want to be with this person. So before you get yourself into that emotional connection, go out on date with that person a couple of times and see, and let him realize we're going out as friends.
No strings attached.
No strings attached. We haven't started a relationship yet. So in doing that, I mean, I could have married or been in a relationship with like 10 people in the last 2 years of my life. But because I defined that dating for myself, and I created that boundary for myself, it helps me to like, I talked to somebody a couple of times, or we went out a couple of times. In my head, no, I can't be with you because I already figured you out. But jumping into that relationship, that will cause me a whole lot of emotional torture, like I'm breaking out with this guy. So I already figured it out for myself. I don't want to start breaking myself every month. And I don't really go out like that with people all the time. But before I even say I want to go out on a date with you, I already figured some things out, like, okay, it's okay. I can still go out and eat with him. I can still go to the park and take a walk with him. Fine. Before you take it further, know that this is what you want and this is who you want to go in courtship with. I think that is clear.
No, that's fine, because I really needed to define it so that our audience understand what is dating. Because people just think because I went for a dinner, he wants to date me, he wants to marry me. So we need to define relationships so that I know.
I take my children out on dates.
You said?
I date my kids. I said I take my kids out. They're adult. I have 3 adult kids now. I take them out. Toby, let's go out, or they will invite me out to dinner. That's a date. You know?
Yeah. So dating helps you to understand the other party that you want to. Maybe you're looking at, or maybe it's a guy who has been coming around you. You just want to size him up, see what kind of person he is. You want to know his likes and know whether you want to take this further or you want to even stop it.
You want to take people outside of their comfort zone. Talking on the phone is different from you really go out and sit down and eat. I want to see how you treat other people. I want to see how you talk to the waiters. I want to see how you talk to the receptionist. I want to see how you smile at people. I want to feel you outside of you talking to me on the phone or you coming to my house. You get the point. I think you froze.
Thank you. The network was bad.
Yes.
So sometimes it's good when we do live recording like this, I can edit it. I take those parts out. Okay. So I think I love the definition. I love what you just did now. And I also had a better understanding of what dating and courtship is. It's like trying to know, okay, let me check what I want to buy. I want to be sure what I want to go into. So I don't want to get emotionally attached. So that the moment I go out for 1 or 2 datings and I get to see some red flags, I can see, so I'm sorry, I'm not interested in any further dates.
Yeah.
Or I can ask you, can you define what this dating is all about?
Yeah.
So if the person says, oh, I want to propose to you, I want to take it further, I want to marry you, then you're not say, oh, I'm sorry. I thought this is what it is. Or I need to pray, or I need to get a direction, or I can see I'm not interested because you must have
Yeah.
seen some kind of flags. And at those times, you're taking people from from their comfort zone somewhere else. And
Yeah.
truly, you get to know a man when he's out of his comfort zone.
Oh yes.
His true character will show. Maybe
For
you're meant
sure.
to,
Some people
yes,
will
maybe
pretend, but if you pay attention, I pay attention to details. I pay attention to, like, you will be surprised what I see, like, because I'm intentionally paying attention.
that's true. That's a good one, man. That's a very good one because that's the only way you can see some body languages.
Oh
Or you
yeah.
sometimes tend to come very late for your dates. If
Yeah.
it's not a patient guy, immediately you come in, he's going to lambast you. He's going to say
Oh
things to
yeah.
you. Then you
Oh
now
yeah.
know, oh, this guy is very domineering.
Oh
So
yeah.
he's not patient to even find out what has kept me longer than
Yeah.
necessary. Thank you so much, Ma, for that. Then when you notice it during courtship, what do you do at such time? Because already in courtship, there's an emotional tie.
Mm-hmm.
Parents now know the guy. The church already now knows that you're dating, you're going out, you're proposing to get married in a near future date. What do you do? Because a lot of people, my pastor will always tell you a broken courtship is better than a broken
It's
marriage.
better. The moment you notice certain things, that's what I said. For me personally, I set a boundary. There are things that I will not even give you a second chance for, because you can change an adult. I told a guy, I said, you're a grown adult. If your mother did not do what she was supposed to do, you're too old for me to start nurturing that part. But I would not. It's there's no chance for. There's no second chance. I gave you one chance. It's all you get. I'm 52 years old. I'm not looking to have babies. So if I decide to get married, fine. If I don't want to decide, if I don't want to get married, I'm okay with it. But if I'm gonna be in a relationship, if you're gonna be my companion, I want to be happy that I'm with you. So if I have to tolerate that aspect, I can't. I'm a people person. So if you're with me, I expect you to know that, okay, this is what I do, this is who I am. I cannot stand a jealous lover. I cannot stand a jealous partner. Everyone you see with me, oh, you dating them, you sleeping with them. No, I cannot tolerate that. So it's one chance of me seeing you in that state of mind, like, okay, hello, you know what you're getting into, you know who I am. So now I'm out with you and you're giving me some kind of attitude because, oh, people are calling me, and I wasn't disrespectful picking the phone while I was talking to you or while I was eating, but you monitoring my move, and then the way you talk to people. I just thought in my head, this guy has, number one, he has anger problem. No, I'm not the one to start taking you through some anger class. I'm not going to do that. He's jealous. No, I can never, ever, ever. Because one thing I know for sure, I don't need to be lying at this point in my life. I won't cheat on you. So you should be assured about that. But if you cannot trust me, don't even get into relationship with me. And then the way you treat people, no, I can't take that. Talking to waiters like, okay, you're paying their salaries and stuff like that. So you have to know what you want, what you can tolerate, and what you cannot tolerate. The moment I need it immediately. It's been begging me since that time. I was just thinking, oh, maybe I can go out with this guy, have a relationship. Immediately, I know it can never work. There's nothing it can pretend like it's going to change for me. Don't change for me, change for yourself. You're a human being. You need to treat people with respect. And so don't change for me, because if you change for me, it's going to be a problem later.
It's going to be a temporary one.
Oh, it's
It's
going to
just
be a
going to
problem. So it's
be time.
like it's going to change. No, don't believe somebody is going to change because they're in a relationship with you. That's pretending to change. Unless for like somebody, let's say somebody with anger issue, unless you go through, you tell me, okay, doctor, oh, I'm going to get help, I'm going to see a therapy. If I know you are in therapy because of that, you want to do something for yourself. This is not even for me. I may believe that you will change or you have changed because you've been through a process that can change you. But if you have not done anything, I'm sorry. It's just what you can tolerate. And women especially will try to tolerate a lot of things that will eventually be problem in the marriage. That's the way I see it. I can tolerate this or it can change. No, don't just base your relationship on it can change or it will change. No, it will not or she will not. It will get worse. It will get worse in marriage. Life issues make things worse for us. So somebody that I was talking to a guy yesterday, I said, when did you notice that she's nagging? When did you notice that she began to suspect you? That means she's been doing this. You just felt like, oh, she just lost me too much. She can't stand to see another woman with me. Come on now. Now, 17 years down the road, you don't want to go home and sleep anymore. You're sleeping in hotels everywhere. You know, spend the money sleeping in hotels, go to club and then spend money and then go back and sleep in a hotel. And you have a house. So things like that is why you don't just say it will change, she will change. No, what you don't want,
you don't start to condole it. Thank you so much. Yeah, one thing you just said to me rightly, you can't change an adult. You're not God. You can't change an adult. And that's why he said, when the child is growing, at a very tender age, you can help a child. But when an adult is grown, you can't change a man who was living for 30 years of his life. You can't change him overnight.
That's who he is. You cannot come overnight and change him. If his mother couldn't, you cannot do that job now.
Yes. And you must know what you want in your relationship.
You do.
Define the line.
Find the lines. Have a boundary.
Have a boundary.
Yes.
Have a boundary by defining where and what you need to do with this person. And you find out that people who have anger issue and jealousy, this is a foundational issue. So how do you have such people? You know, I'm saying this because of our teenagers that are coming up, yet they're not dating. How do you have such kids that you know he has an anger issue before he grows up and become a fully grown man with anger? That will keep a lot of women away from such a person.
Anger starts from when you're young, or something must have happened in your life for you to begin to get angry. You know, you see your father, a lot of men with anger issues grow up with fathers like that, slapping their mom, talking anyhow to their mom. And I mean, I was talking to a guy because he could not defend his mother. He will get angry. He will just get angry, like, I wish I can punch this man to stop beating my mom or to stop talking like that to my mom. That's how his anger starts. So that is a circle continuing, because now he's abusing his wife. You get the point. He never went through any healing process, any therapy and stuff like that. So now he grew up thinking, okay, you have to be man enough to talk to your wife, you know, raise your hands up so your woman can fear you or can be scared of you or can respect you or can submit to you. You get, that's where his anger comes from. Another guy was like, he grew up being angry because their father was always beating them. Always beating them. He related a story of when his father locked him up for like 5 days in a room because of something that he did. You know, that's how people build anger. You were young, it's a lot of things that can cause that. Okay, as a teenager, your girlfriend betrayed you, your boyfriend left you. Now you have anger and bitterness towards every single man you see, including your own father and your own siblings. So anything can be the cause of anger. But when we don't deal with it, anybody can get angry. My own anger, I can be angry right now. The next minute I'm saying, hello, Sandra. You know, that's me. A lot of people, they don't. They want to leach out that anger on somebody. You get the point?
That's true.
Domestic violence sometimes it's not. I tell women all the time, especially because women are the ones that always, men go through domestic violence. Like, okay, it's not that you did anything. It's just a transfer of aggression to you, unfortunate. And it doesn't see you like it could treat you well. So it needs somebody he has to treat somebody, abuse somebody, bully somebody to make himself feel good.
Thank you so much. I want to take just 1 minute break. Maybe you can. For parents who probably are watching this video, you might want to reach out to Dr. OLUBUSOLA before she leaves on this show today. She's going to post that video and links, and you can reach out to her to get some counseling so you can help your young teenager, your young child who's growing, who's probably exhibiting some kind of anger issue, and you can help them because it starts from their teenage years. It starts from when they are babies. And this time around, it is said that you're able to help them because they're still growing. You can look for verses in the Bible of what anger has done, how anger has destroyed homes, and what God says about anger. This is just a way to help these kids come out of that anger and start helping them to build their self-esteem. Sometimes can be parents shouting at their kids and yelling. So they grow up with that and thinking it's a way of life. We can help by, teaching them. And because if we fail to teach them, they'll be taught somewhere else. They will learn from somebody else. So like she rightly said, know your kids, know their strength, know their weakness, and see how you can help them. Sometimes you may have to start praying for them and start taking them and start showing them ways and what things that anger has cost people so that they don't pay dearly in life for it. Like you rightly said, sometimes a lot of men. So that means for men who want to get married and probably going through anger and they're very jealous, they have to go see therapy, get it resolved, get themselves out of those dirty corners before they get into marriage. Otherwise, they're going to introduce another generation into a battering home. Domestic violence becomes a generation because the moment a man who is angered and very jealous doesn't want the wife to take calls from other males, the moment you continue and you have kids in that home, those children will watch and see the kind of marriage their parents have. And if it's not managed early enough, they continue that trend. They think it's a way of life. And it is said that our children learn by examples and not what you say. It is what you show them. So whatever you want your kids or any member of your family to do, show them by acting in it. If you want a clean house, be a good cleaner. Keep your environment clean. So they grow up seeing in the clean environment, they tend to be clean too. Thank you so much, ma'am. But what do you do if you're already in such homes? Now you've told us how we can help our young youths, and when you're dating, how to get to know the signs and quickly bail out, run away, keep such a person at bay so that you don't get in there and tomorrow, 2 years, 5 years down the line, you want to break a marriage. Or sometimes after you've had like 3, 4 kids, you now make them you now train up those kids without a father or a mother. It becomes very tough on you. So for people, ladies or women or guys already in courtship, what should they do? And those in marriage, what should they do? I just want this as a wrapping.
Easier if you're still in courtship. If that person could not go through some kind of therapy, because sometimes counseling is good, but a lot of people don't go for premarital counseling. Premarital counseling is good, but for somebody that really has there are some things, attitude that counseling will not help. Premarital counseling will not help. A skilled counselor will ask you certain questions and stuff like that, but you need to be in therapy to deal with certain things, right? If you're already in the marriage, it's so sad that a lot of people don't want to go for marriage counseling because it helps. Some things that escalate to the point of you punching each other, you calling each other names, can be dealt with through therapy. Go for counseling. But the point is this: if you cannot go for counseling, if you cannot check yourself in for therapy, nothing is going to be better. It's going to be worse. So if you have an issue and you cannot get help, nothing's going to be done. You either sign up for eternity in a miserable marriage, or you walk out of that abusive situation. It's a one. I mean, it's a choice for you. Go through therapy. No, I cannot. You know, because some people are so arrogant. Like, what are they going to do for me? What are they? The moment you tell me what is therapy going to do for you, what is counseling going to help you with, I know you can never change, because you are not remorseful. You don't even feel that you're doing something to this other person. You don't even feel that you're inflicting pain on this person. So if you do not, you're still in denial. You cannot continue to be in denial and expect a miracle to happen or a solution to come. If you want solution, go get it. Some will admit, like, it's okay, it's true, I did that, but I did not know I was inflicting pain. They don't know they're doing something, because they grew up to see their father do that. So it's not a new ground for them. It's nothing new for them. It's a normal life for them. But for you, that you're coming from a parent that, I mean, I'm one of the luckiest people in this world. I grew up with two loving parents. I never saw my parents argue. You get the point? I'm not saying they never have an argument or have issues. We never saw that as kids. So I grew up thinking marriages are like that. You do stuff for your wife, you care for your wife, everything is my wife, my wife, my wife. I'm not saying my father was perfect. He's a man, you know, an African man. We saw some things that he did as adult kids, but hey, his wife comes first. And he never disrespect his wife in our presence. So I thought people are like that. I thought marriages were like that. And then I got into marriage. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But then at the same time, it is coming from that other side of parents always beating his mom, always talking down on his wife. Boom. We got married. I call myself a mail order wife. You know, I just came to meet my husband here overseas. We never date or court. You get the point. So that was a struggle. And it's like, do people talk to their wife like this? Do people treat their wife like this? It was a shock for me. It was a shock for me. But for a woman that grew up that, okay, our father was always punching, mom was always talking. It's not always about beating. That's the life she knew.
Yeah, she will see it as a norm.
She will see it as a norm. It's people around them, or maybe with some of the posts that I post, people will be like, now I get it. So the depression is because I'm emotionally beaten down. I'm mentally beaten down. That's a sign she's lived like that all her life. As an adult now, it's a struggle, like, I can have a better life. So that kind of a person, if you cannot go for counseling or therapy, you will either continue to live like that, or you die, because domestic violence is a silent killer on its own.
It is. I've seen some.
Apart from somebody shooting you, beating you up, you die gradually every single day, and then you can't wake up emotionally, mentally, and one day you cannot even get up again. You die in it. Some people will just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna be there. There's nothing you can do. You cannot help them. Unfortunately, the cycle continues on the children. So you can't help anybody in domestic violence until they are ready to be helped. I've been doing this for 12 years now. You can't force anybody. I never force anybody. I will never tell you leave, unless like the goddaughter that called me on Friday, today's Sunday. I said, somebody called you, threatened you that if you don't leave your mother's house and come back home, he's coming there to shoot all of you and kill himself. This is not the first time. This is the third time you called me to say something like that. Somebody is threatening you with death, and you think, okay, let me just run back. Let me just rush back. It will wake up one day and just shoot you. Sure. Now he's throwing things at you. That's not a joke. I called the mother. I said, go to the courthouse and get a restraining order. This guy has been in the military. I said, is it take, because you have to be deep in this thing. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know how to coach people through domestic violence. Somebody called you because he's threatening you. You took your baby and you're rushing back home. If he kills you, he will kill you. You know what? I said, go and check his medication. He probably has some mental problem. He's probably taking some medication for mental issues. Guess what? He will kill you, kill that child. He may not kill himself. He may shoot himself where he will not die. And guess what? A good lawyer will plead insanity for him. They will go through his medical record, check his medication, and know, oh, he hasn't taken his medicine for 1 week. That's why something triggered. You get my point.
And he will be left and will not be punished.
Oh my goodness. The least or most they can do for him is just put him in an institution, because he's a crazy person. He's an insane person. He's taking medication. He's mentally derailed. You know what? He has already killed somebody. That person is never coming back.
And it's gone for good.
And he has a gun in the house. You know, so these things are deep. Really, really deep.
Thank you. It looks like we can't finish this in one episode. No. I may have to call you again. But let me quickly recap. It is said that when you marry wrongly, your life is 50% gone.
It is.
Because marriage is meant to be a supporting tool for you to achieving your ministry here on earth. And so, and any man who cannot submit to authority is not a marriageable material. You must have a mentor. A man who does not listen to anyone, does not talk to anyone, cannot care for you as a husband. So such are triggers. If you find that from a guy you're dating or a lady you're dating, and she doesn't have anybody she can talk to, pray with, that can caution her, mentor her, that's a sign that there's something going on wrong.
That's a sign.
You must submit to mentorship. There is nobody on earth who doesn't have mentor.
There should be somebody in your life that you are accountable to.
Yes. Somebody you respect, somebody you want to become like, somebody you want to be better off than, and taking responsibility for whatever issues that happen.
Yes.
It's one thing you have held. You've made a mistake. Everybody, we're meant to make mistakes. And if you said that mistakes is another way of doing things. When you make mistake, take responsibility. Yes, you could have mistakenly slapped or, say a nasty word to your spouse. But this time around, I had to use spouse because it can be from the male. It can also be from the female.
Yes.
But take responsibility for your actions. Take time to go back and correct whatever it is. But not, shifting blame. When you see people who shift and say, it's not my fault, it's a fault. She said this, she said that. Then you know that these are trigger signs to know whether to continue with such courtship. But if you're in that marriage, seek for help. I've seen guys on females who say, I don't need therapy.
I know.
That's also sign that something is going wrong. And you really need to cry for help before
your life. You're not teachable. You're not teachable.
Yes. And as leaders, we are meant to be, lifelong learners. We learn every day. We see things we don't want in our marriage, we try to correct it. We see things that we want to, imbibe and bring into our homes so that our children can learn. Then we need to copy such behavior, look for ways to bring it into the house, show your kids, counsel them so they know. So these are things that we all need to know. And I want to thank you so much, our viewers, for being on this show. Thank you. And most especially our speaker, our guest. You were awesome. I still felt like continuing with you. There's so much I want to ask you, but I don't want this to stay too long. I wanted it to just be 45 minutes to 50 minutes and we are done. So I think we might have a continued session, maybe a part 2. This is a part 1 of domestic violence. There are things we need to know. When it gets to a level where both parties are battering themselves, what do we do for the kids? How do we help the kids? What do we do for kids who have witnessed one of their parents passed on to glory? What do you do for such kids? How do you counsel them? Because if they are not well managed, they will continue that trend. So many other questions we might want to ask so that we can help those who are already in need to find help. And for those who think, oh, I don't want my child to be battered. I don't want my child to be abused. Where do I know, what marriage do I know will work out? Please, fear is a sign of the enemy and fear is an anointing of the enemy. we have to live in faith.
Oh,
Yes, you
yes.
have to leave the home where you have for a time being to see what can be done. But if after separating for a while, such marriage cannot be redeemable, then you might just have to move out.
Mm.
You're not called
For
to
the
suffer.
sake of the
Or,
children, if you
yes.
don't even want to do it for you, do it for your kids. Do it for your kids.
I've seen a marriage where both parents were not there to take care of the kids
Oh
because
yeah.
the woman was in the marriage trying to, just go through it. Eventually, the guy killed her. Now the guy is going to face manslaughter.
And then
So
somebody else is taking care of the kids. So think about those kids first. They are very,
yeah.
very important. Think about them. Even if you don't want to do it for you, do it for your children. Do it for your children.
Thank you so much, Ma. I really do appreciate you. I want to let you to go so I don't keep you longer than necessary. I know you have other meetings. And thank you, our viewers. I'm so elated and I'm so excited for honoring this invitation. And also, what do I say again? I have to speak with you to find out your earliest convenience to see
Yeah,
when
I
we can come
know.
together
I'm so
again.
sorry.
No
Thank you
problem,
for
Ma.
having me. Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much. Have a
Yeah,
blessed evening, Ma.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.